going to start by just testing out this get route. Come back over here. We've got these two tests that are passing. And what I'm going to do here is actually describe this a little bit differently, because I'm going to have to send a token here in order for this to work. And this is a token that I have the ability to manufacture. And so what I'm going to say here is I'm going to describe with a valid token. So if we end up coming up here with a valid token, and we end up doing this, we're going to expect that it's going to return a 200 with the user. So what is this going to end up looking like? Well, first of all, I'm going to have to set, you could call this whatever you want to. It's pretty common for this to be called an authorization token. And so I'm going to go and generate a token. And I'm going to do this with a library that I have yet to install. And I'm going to encode. And what I'm going to end up encoding is I've got my seeded users. So I'm going to say the ID, which is going to be, this is going to be the user ID. And I'm going to take the seed, let's use Larry. And I'm going to end up encoding it. I have to encode it with a secret. I'm going to use the same secret that I had before with my sessions. So this is going to end up getting encoded here. Let me just make sure I did this correctly. And this is going to be what I'm going to end up setting. So I'm going to end up encoding this piece of data with a secret. Okay, and let's just take a look. So JWT is not defined. Let's install it. We're going to use the library JWT simple. There's a number of libraries that can end up doing this. And I'm going to bring in and if we take a look, let's load this up. Now we expect if this is going to work that we're going to get a 200 back, but we won't end up getting a 200 back. And let's actually just go, we could actually take a look and see what this token looks like. Let's encode it and then send it. So this is just going to be a string, but it's important to know what this actually is so you can understand it. And if we look at this token, console log token, if I look at this token, I'm going to end up seeing here is my token. So this has a couple of pieces of information on it. One thing we could end up doing is let's actually just open up a website, find this site, and we can actually pass in a token here. And look at this, I probably had used this before, but I'm going to go over here. I'm going to end up pasting this in here. And one thing I could see here is that it's actually got three parts to it. So the first part actually tells how the encryption is taking place. Second part is actually the data, and this data is encoded, so it's not encrypted. So you don't want to put anything in here that is, a password or anything like that, because anyone can end up decoding this. It's just basically base 64 encrypted. This last part is taking this data and signing it with a key. And the reason why this is failing is because we haven't told them what the key is. So it's saying it's an invalid signature. But if I go up here, and I had forgotten what I set this to, probably foo, and I go over here and I change this to foo, right, it'll end up telling me that this actually is verified. We could actually test this out as well. The key thing is that there are three parts: how this thing is encrypted, the payload of what you're encrypting, and the encrypted value. And again, someone can look at this cookie and decrypt this data, but they can't change that data. You can't pretend that you're somebody else. And again, all these values should be, sent over SSL. So again, you shouldn't be sharing these tokens anyway. but you can't just go and pretend and manufacture your own token with, some ID. So let's actually take a look and see how we could end up using this.